But that's not self-care because I'm doing that because I'm scared to not match beauty expectations, right? That's not self-care, that's culture care, all right? I'm taking care of everybody who expects me to look a certain way, all right? If it makes me bitter because I'm changing my outsides, that's not the self I'm talking about. Do you think about that? Do you have, because you're just really excellent at talking about self-care. Do you have rituals that feel like they're caring for the selfie self?
Yeah, I mean, it's such and I don't want to knock the day at the spa. To be very clear, you can find me at the spa. Like, I thrive at the spa. But for me, you know, I grew up in a psychologically abusive, super neglectful household, which left me with the idea that I was worthless. That's how I walked out of my childhood, was I am worthless, I deserve nothing, and so I made it true for myself. You know, it left me with anxiety and depression, and I thought, okay, the way I'll treat this, and as I grew up, was with alcohol and boys and weed and working too hard. These will be my coping mechanisms. And they worked until they didn't. Until you said 25, I hit rock bottom at 25 when I drunk dialed my therapist and threatened to hurt myself. And that next morning, you know when you're like really ashamed of yourself? Oh boy, drunk dialing your therapist, there's nothing like it. And I realized that morning, if I don't save my life, there's not gonna be much more of a life to live. And it was time to just get honest. You know, my self-care in that moment was like, let's be real. I actually didn't have a good family life. It actually was horrible. And if I'm ever gonna have parents or anyone who's gonna nurture me, it's gotta be me. Like, nobody's riding into my rescue, unfortunately. Like, that would be great. It's not gonna happen. And I started kind of just trying any self-care ritual I heard about. And randomly, at the very same time, a very well-to-do friend of mine invited me to her family's vacation house in Maine. So I am breaking down. I have just drunk dialed my therapist. My life is a mess. And she's like, come to Maine, come visit our compound. I'm like, okay, like, I think I'm the wrong person to invite right now, but go ahead. And when I got there, her cousin saw that I was a mess, and was like, you know what? Have you tried a gratitude practice? I was like, you know what? Have you tried jumping in the ocean? And let me just add to this, just one key detail to the story. She had gone to Harvard. She had become a ballerina, who then decided to become a doctor, who then decided to become a lawyer at her family's Kennedy-esque compound in Maine.
Okay. So she had a lot to be grateful for.
You know, in my mind, I couldn't say this to her, obviously. I was so full of rage. I was like, of course you're grateful. You have something to be grateful for. Things came to my house to die. What, I'm threatening to kill myself? You think I'm grateful? You think that's how I feel? Fine, I'll just try writing a gratitude list, fine. Just to like spite her, basically, to prove that she was wrong and I was right and be self-righteous. And I started that day writing a gratitude list, and it started with espresso, sheets, sun. And I was like, oh my God, the sun's pretty cool. I really like the sun, and water keeps me alive, and the more I kept doing it, the more it just blew open the doors of my mind that, yes, I had been through a lot of trauma. Yes, that was still real. That wasn't going anywhere. And I was grateful to be alive, to have the chance to help myself. And that, to me, that my favorite self-care tool, it's so cheesy, right? A gratitude practice. Like, I still kind of roll my eyes at it. But after 11 years of writing 40,000 things I'm grateful for, I can just tell you it does change your life, because the trauma, the heartache, all of that's real, but you see the bigger picture, that all of the beauty is real as well.